The following is a Joel Michalec production. The following episode of the Joel Michalec Show takes place between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m.
Welcome to the Joel Michalec Show.
Wow. You sound so like, ugh.
Well, last week you said I scared you.
Right. Well, you
So
know.
I wanted to slow things down
Yeah, well,
a little.
we have to say happy birthday to
No,
Joel
we
Michalec.
don't. No.
Yes, we do, because
Okay,
today's
so-
his
So now
birthday.
you apparently did.
Today is his birthday.
Go ahead, get it all out.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. All right. I'm done being stupid.
Thank you. Yes, it is. Welcome,
Yes.
everybody, to the Joel Michalec Show. I'm Joel Michalec alongside the lovely Sharon.
Yeah.
And so welcome back to the podcast. Broadcasting, I was about to say live. Broadcasting Memorex at joelmichalec.com. Also, at joelmichalec.com, click the blue button that says subscribe to podcast, and you can get it on your favorite podcatchers, such as iTunes, Google, iHeart, Spotify, Blueberry, and the list goes on.
And raspberry and pineapple. Oh, no, they're not programs?
Not yet. But maybe you're giving me an idea. Maybe I start one. No, I'm just
There
kidding.
you go.
So, also at Facebook at JM Talk and on Twitter at WQYB Radio. So there are the various ways you can join us on the social media of the world.
Yay.
And we have a lot of things for the podcast today. So hopefully we don't sound like it's too much. And
No,
maybe
I
we
don't think
get
it
that
does. I don't think it does. And I went over all your notes and, yeah,
And you approved them?
I did approve them.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
But we may not even get to everything. That's the thing. That's the amazing
Well,
thing about...
let's see what we get to.
Yeah, let's see. Anyway, so real quick, though...
Birthday.
Interesting. It was there was a lot of conversation among all kinds of people everywhere, I'm sure, about last week's Super Bowl because a lot of people felt it was uninterested. There was a lot of people that were upset about the Saints getting robbed of their opportunity to go to the Super Bowl. So there were all these
you
reasons.
know, I agree with the masses.
Okay, and there were a lot of thoughts that people just weren't interested in the Patriots being there again.
Right. I mean, we've seen this rodeo before.
Yeah, and there was a lot of speculation that the Super Bowl was going to suck and not a lot of people were going to watch it. Well, the news is in, and viewership for the Super Bowl this year fell to the lowest in over 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, who wants to watch the Patriots cheat their way through another season into the Super Bowl and then cheat their way through that?
There you go. Yep. So apparently,
Tom Brady needs to go.
So apparently, the big game on the network has fallen beneath 100 million viewers, first time since 2009 when the Steelers beat the Cardinals in the Super Bowl back then. So 10 years.
10 years.
That's huge. So it did actually suck, even in terms of numbers.
In ratings, I know, in viewership.
Right. We didn't watch it.
No.
And it was the first time in a very long time that we did not watch the Super Bowl. I mean, usually
Yeah.
we're interested in the Super Bowl as a sport.
Well,
but
you were going to watch the Super Bowl, but just not the one that was
Right.
playing
Well,
this year.
it's not even that. For me, I think it had to do with the fact that it was the Rams and the Patriots. And there's usually interest for the sport, but I feel really beat up by the refs this year and the way the refereeing was. So it was it was a personal boycott, but I didn't watch it either. I know people that watched last year's and had Super Bowl parties this year to watch last year's recording.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. People watch the
That's
Super
pretty
Bowl,
cool.
just not the one that aired this year.
Right. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
So, did you watch it? I want to know if you guys watched it. Let us know.
Yeah. Let
on
us
Facebook.
know.
I forgot to do the Twitter question this week. I'm so busy. I forgot that the question was
You
going
know
to be
why?
about the rabies shot.
I know why.
Why?
You forgot.
Why? Go ahead.
Because
What's your smart ass answer?
it's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday.
Okay, so what we've been wanting to do for a very long time, and we finally got the information gathered, and then we wanted to do it on the podcast, is we wanted to talk about some of the weirdest laws that are still on the books in these United States. And,
Here, give me some of them. I'll read some.
You want some? Okay.
Yeah.
We don't know how many we're going to get to.
Yeah, but there was a couple in there. I was like, are
That's
you
right.
serious?
It's two-sided. What was I
Yeah.
thinking when I printed this crap out? So, anyway. So, yeah. I'm going to start with Alaska because it's the second state on the list anyway. But
Right.
the internet is always extremely excited about the weird moose laws. Okay, like the supposed illegality of giving a moose a beer on the aforementioned law against shoving one out of an airplane.
Shoving a moose out of an airplane? Seriously?
Unfortunately, those are all old and or fake. But there is one that's still moose adjacent. If you kill a moose or any big game animal, no matter the circumstances, you have to at least try to salvage the meat so people can eat it.
What?
So hopefully you know how to do that. Yeah. So if you're riding down the highway in Alaska, and
I'm riding down the highway.
right, and you smash into a moose and kill it, even though your car is demolished because you smashed into a moose, you have to pause and cut the meat out of the dead animal.
Like, what if you crash into this moose and your leg's hanging off and your arm is like just wobbling there?
Pull out your pocket knife and crawl across the ground and get that meat out.
And get that meat out.
Yeah,
wow.
even if you have to cut your own leg off. And if you do, then take the part of the leg you cut off so that can be used for meat too. Somebody has to eat.
Ew.
Okay, what do you have over there?
Okay. Okay, so in New York, I don't know if anyone knows this, but you cannot take tiger selfies.
Where?
In New York.
You can't take a tiger selfie in New York.
Any big cats. No. You cannot do this.
Excuse me.
You cannot take a tiger selfie.
Who's interested in taking a selfie with a tiger?
Some crazy person. But it's for your own protection. Like, for real, who would be crazy enough to take a tiger selfie? Oh.
I wouldn't. Definitely I wouldn't.
I have another one.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm here. I'm listening.
In Oklahoma. You paying attention?
I'm paying attention. Oklahoma.
Good. You cannot make glue out of a skunk. Don't do it. Don't even try it.
What? Can you even make glue out of a skunk?
You cannot make glue out of a dead skunk. No.
Well, that would give that would stop kids from sniffing the glue.
All right. But in Oklahoma, just don't do it.
Okay.
All right. I'm just saying.
All right. Is that all you have for right now?
For right now, you go ahead. I'm reading on.
Okay, so in Indiana, you have to make sure that you're not catching fish with a firearm. Yeah.
You're not allowed to what?
There are two ways you are not permitted to catch a fish in Indiana. You may not catch a fish with a firearm, and you're not allowed to catch a fish with the hands alone. Which some people would think that is a stupid law, but there are people that go out, I think it's called noodling, that catch fish with their hands and forearms.
Okay, yeah, but there's another law, and I remember reading it.
Okay, go ahead.
But no, it's pertaining to what you read.
All right, go ahead. I've stopped.
There's another law where you cannot catch a fish with your mouth.
Now, see, I'm never going to fish again then.
I'm not kidding.
Well,
it might be in your stack.
it might be in mine? Okay.
Yeah. But I was like, what?
In Iowa, imitation butter is not permitted to be called butter or described with the words butter, creamy, creamery or dairy, nor can you market it with images of dairy cows. It must be marketed as oleomargarine. Iowa does not tolerate fake butter. Wow. So, and you, Sharon, I can't believe it's not butter.
Right.
So you could not be in Iowa and eat that fake shit.
Well,
they don't want you to eat it.
Then I'm not moving to Iowa.
Oh,
that's out of the question.
Damn it.
I found the state that has the law where you cannot fish with your mouth.
Where?
Pennsylvania.
Oh, I spent a lot of my life in Pennsylvania.
I know.
I didn't even know that. I used to catch fish all the time in my mouth.
It was in the Gettysburg Time archives.
From the Gettysburg Times. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so in Maryland, which is very close to us, and not Maryland. Now, this comes from the state that for a couple of years, not so long ago, was taxing the rainwater that hit your roof. Okay? So from Maryland.
What?
Yeah, you can't make this stuff up, man. Can't make it up. In Maryland, while there's no specific law against taking a lion to the movies in Maryland, this does not presumably mean that one is allowed to take lions to movies. There is one against using any profanity while driving. Or more specifically, while, quote, near any street, sidewalk, or highway within the hearing of persons passing by, upon or along such street, sidewalk, or highway, unquote, no profanity while driving.
Wow.
How can you not be profane when you're driving anymore? Because drivers are idiots.
You have to use profanity.
You have to.
Yeah.
If just to get it out of your system for a moment so you can continue on.
Right.
With sanity.
So on your way to Pennsylvania where you can't catch fish with your mouth, you drive through Maryland, you can't curse.
That's right, you can't curse.
Can't curse in your car. Okay, so Ohio. If you do a crime, less serious crimes, you know.
Right.
Jaywalking, stealing, you know. In Ohio, you can't be arrested on Sunday or
wait a minute, hold on.
on the 4th of July.
You cannot be arrested on Sunday. So that means every crime committed, including murder on a Sunday, supposedly you can
less serious crimes.
Well, what do they...
I just specified
So you specified
that.
a couple. Okay, so where's the cutoff? I mean, what is the most serious... If I wanted to go to Ohio today, and what is the most serious of the less serious that I can do?
Well,
I'm wondering.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
I didn't know you could be arrested for jaywalking.
You can. You absolutely can be.
I jaywalk all the time.
Well, I'm saying if a police officer had a bug up his butt, he could, he would give you a citation for jaywalking. But, yeah, in Ohio, you cannot be arrested on Sunday or on the 4th of July.
In California, if you have frogs as pets and they die, you're not allowed to eat them.
Ew. Why would you want to?
Well, I mean, if you have frogs and your frog dies, then doesn't it sound like it's frog legs for dinner that night? I mean, that's
okay.
I wouldn't eat frog legs, but there are people in this world that eat frog legs. I'm just saying, you know.
Wow.
You have to just go to another state and visit friends with your dead frogs and then cook them up there, I suppose. I don't know. You got the bulk of the laws over there.
Right.
Or I'm just not looking very well. So... in Louisiana, you can't order goods or services for someone who doesn't know to expect said goods or services. You cannot surprise people. You cannot order someone a surprise pizza. So, I mean,
wow.
and people have done this before. You know, this is a big thing. Surprise people with dinner.
Yeah.
You know, but you're not allowed to do that. You're also not allowed to steal crayfish in Louisiana, and I can see why that's a law in the books. Crayfish is like... Isn't that like the state animal or something?
Ew. Okay, so in South Carolina, real quick. In South Carolina...
I like South Carolina.
If you're 18 or older, congratulations.
Thank you.
You may legally now play pinball. In South Carolina.
So far, that's my favorite. You can't play pinball under the age of 18?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is there more to that law? That's crazy. That's it?
No, that's it.
That's
That's it. You cannot play pinball.
I would love to hear from somebody in South Carolina on that law. I mean, I really would.
And did you know that you cannot play it under the age of 18?
I didn't. Or you're
I'm
theoretically asking the person that
I'm
will talk to us.
theoretically asking
If
the
somebody
people.
reaches out to us.
Yeah.
Wow. In Kentucky, it's unlawful. By the way, South Carolina, by far, my favorite law so far that we discussed.
Yes.
I mean, some of them are funny, but that is just outrageous.
Yeah.
If I want to play pinball, I'm going to play pinball. That's what kids do.
Right.
But in
not in South Carolina.
Can't do it in South Carolina. In Kentucky, it's unlawful to sell dyed baby chicks, DYED, dyed. The ones that you eat.
Yeah.
What are they called? Help me out.
Baby chicks.
What are they called? You eat like a million of them every Easter.
No, I don't. Oh my God, what are they called?
Dude, they're right. Peeps.
Peeps.
Peeps. Okay,
There you go.
It's unlawful to sell them in Kentucky unless you're selling them in groups of 6 or more.
Oh my God.
I think sometimes with some of these laws, the bigger question is not
The law
why they
itself,
still
but
want
what
to-
were they smoking when they made the law?
Exactly. Like, who made these and why? Why is who was so offended by chicks?
Right?
It's obviously a congressperson in Kentucky who got pissed that they were selling only 2-packs.
He wanted more.
Yeah. Wow. They do, because they do make them like 4-packs, the small packs, right?
No.
I assume this means 6 in one pack and not
Yeah.
6 packages.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it
Or
was.
they're talking about live chicks
No.
dyed.
No.
DYED, like pink and blue and yellow chicks
No.
sold in a 6-pack.
And finally, in Arizona, you'll need a permit if you want to feed garbage to your pig.
Permit.
Yeah, that's that's a really crazy law because people usually complain about the fact that you need a permit to fish. You need all these bureaucratic ways of needing permits.
Happy birthday.
Shush it. But you need a permit to feed because what do pigs eat? You give them slop. You give them garbage.
Yeah.
But you have to apply for a permit to do that in Arizona. I wonder how many pigs are even in Arizona. Think of that arid climate in Arizona.
Yeah.
Pigs like to be sweaty and roll around in mud piles
Ew.
and fight each other to the death. To the death!
The death, you pig.
So later on, when we come back from break, a couple of things that really piss us off that we're going to talk about.
Okay. We'll talk about that
You
then.
know that. Don't say anything, but you know about that one that pisses us off.
Oh, that pissed
And
me off.
is this another one that pisses me off? That's another one that pisses us off.
Yeah, that pissed me off too.
And I have a bad driver story or two that's pissing me off.
Wow.
So when we come back, we're going to be pissed off.
Wow.
We'll be back right after
All
this.
right.
Damn it.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable. But how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Broadcasting from a crummy little studio in Baltimore, Maryland. This is Reality One Radio.
You see why we need your donations?
Welcome back to the program. It's the Joel Michalec Show, and Joel Michalec here with the lovely Sharon.
The lovely me.
JoelMichalec.com, that's the website. Also, you can find us at Facebook at JM Talk and Twitter at WQYB Radio. So that's how you get a hold of us. Molly's hanging out in the doorway. So we got a letter from the IRS this week. I know we're like tired of dealing with the IRS, but we got a letter from the IRS, and they returned our 2016s, and they need us to fix them. Apparently, there's a question on your taxes, folks. It says something like, do you have any dependents that you can claim? Any dependents that depend on you? Any people that depend on you? Something to that effect.
Yeah.
Well, apparently the answer I wrote, which was 8.5 million illegal immigrants, 1 million crackheads, 3.5 million unemployable scumbags, and 80,000 criminals in over 75 prisons, and 535 idiots in Congress, was not the answer they were looking for. So the letter said that I had to correct,
your answer, right?
I had to correct the answer. I had to correct the taxes from 2016. So I got here. We're going to send this back out. We're going to send this letter out tomorrow. It's going to go out in the mail. I wrote him a letter back. And it just says, to whom it may concern, who do we leave out?
Right.
So we'll see how well that goes.
Yeah.
Because it's tax time.
I know.
We hate tax time.
Everybody hates tax time.
We particularly hate tax time.
Yes, we do.
I think it's funny. People say it's that. How do they word it? They say it's that it's illegal for them to tax us. It's something like that.
Yeah.
And so you have these nut jobs that say that you don't have to do your taxes. You don't have to file your taxes. You don't have to pay taxes. It's a voluntary thing.
Really?
But then, you listen to these commercials about people that are in trouble for not paying their taxes. And you're like,
right.
So how? Somebody explain that. How do you get around that? So, I didn't pay my taxes. But they're freezing your bank accounts, taking your house, or selling your stuff from underneath you. I mean, how is that? How is that
voluntary? Right.
So, anyway, we're pissed off here today in this segment of the show,
we are.
Right? We're pissed off.
We're pissed off.
We were going to, you were taking me to work the other morning.
Yes.
And we're on this road. It's called County Road. So if you're like a really personal friend of us, you know where we live. You know what road we're talking about. It's kind of windy.
Yeah, windy.
2-lane blacktop. And when you go around the curves, you barely have enough room for 2 cars.
Right.
So anyway, we're on this road, and we're doing the speed limit.
And Joel's driving.
Was I driving?
Yes.
I was driving, yeah. I knew you were going to say something like that. So
I was not driving.
And this asshat passes us on this road.
On a double-lined road, people.
On a double-lined little country bumpkin 30-mile-per-hour roadway.
Right.
What is your hurry? Seriously, what is your hurry that you have to do something like that?
Right.
Another incident, another day you were taking me to work. We were at the main intersection up here.
Yeah.
And the light was red. And you remember that car that it was in front of us got into the turning lane like he was going to say, forget the red light, I'm just going to turn right. And he goes all the way up to the light and then slings across going straight.
Yeah, right in front of everybody.
At a red light. Again, what is your hurry? That you take chances like that with your life.
How would it be? You be in such a hurry. You arrive where you're going dead.
Right, exactly. And one final, this week, I was at lunch with my assistant at work, and we were at Wendy's, and we're sitting there parking the car, and you know how the parking lot faces the main drag there.
Right.
40. So we pull in, and we're getting ready to go, and there's this pickup truck honking at somebody because he wants to get into the left turning lanes, which have only just begun there in front of Wendy's. They're not even lanes yet.
Right.
And he's honking and yelling. You can hear him in his closed windows truck yelling at the van in front of him because he didn't have enough room. So when the flow of traffic starts going, he and that lane opens up more, he gets over there, speeds up, and stops in line with the van to scream at the guy in the van.
Wow. That's ridiculous.
These are 3 stories from the last 10 days.
I know.
And that's just our experiences.
Yes. I know.
It is getting creepy out there on the roadways.
So many people get their driver's license at Kmart.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
So many.
Not me. Don't be looking at me like that.
No, you're looking at me like that. So, all right.
No.
All right. Point to one. Which one's first?
Eeny, meeny, miny, moe, catch a doggy by his toe.
Okay. We at first, Sharon believed this story to be fake, so I went on a mission to find out if it was fake or not, and it is not fake.
Okay.
This is really crazy. There is a 27-year-old man from India.
Okay.
His name is Raphael Samuel. And he is looking to sue his parents for giving birth to him, quote unquote, without his consent.
Well,
and there goes our security alarm system.
right.
So he wants, on his Facebook page, this is part of a anti-natalist movement that says having children is morally wrong. I know, I see the expression on your face, and I'm sure other people that are listening to the podcast are probably spilling their coffee, like they were drinking their coffee, and it's just running down their mouth now.
Right. Because you may not have asked to be born, but if you weren't born, you wouldn't be able to sue.
Yeah, how can you give consent?
Right?
Again, for those of you that are probably now spilling hot coffee on your lap, without his consent. He wants to sue for them giving birth to him without his consent. Even though he says he has a great relationship with his parents, he intends to sue them. So let's look a little bit at the story headlines here. So Raphael Samuel said he had a great relationship with his parents, but has compared having children to kidnapping and slavery.
Wow.
The 27-year-old from Mumbai is an anti-natalist who believes it is wrong to put an unwilling child through the rigmarole of life for the pleasure of its parents. The anti-natalist movement, listen to this is my favorite phrase, the anti-natalist movement is gaining traction.
Really?
In India, as younger people resist social pressure to have children.
Wow.
What social pressure? You don't want to have kids, don't have kids. And listen, there are a lot of people out there who should not be having kids.
Exactly.
Please don't reproduce. But anyway, I digress. He says, I love my parents and we have a great relationship, but they had me for their joy and their pleasure. My life has been amazing, but I don't see why I should put another life through the rigmarole of school and finding a career, especially when that person didn't ask to exist.
The whole argument doesn't even make sense.
Yeah. Listen, folks, this story really almost made Wombat of the Week. In fact, this story was Wombat of the Week until Chicago pushed him out. So there's a spoiler alert for later on. So he runs a Facebook page called Nahialand, which has hundreds of followers, on which he regularly posts anti-natalist material. One image is captioned, "Parents are hypocrites," with the text saying a good parent puts the child above his wants and needs, but the child itself is a want of the parent. I mean, my brain cells are dying just listening to these quotes off his...
I'm just stunned. I am. I'm rarely in my life have I been stunned. And this is one of those moments.
A similar meme on the Facebook page reads, if parents truly know what is good for their children, why did they have them? And another asks, isn't forcing a child into this world and then forcing it to have a career kidnapping and slavery?
What?
It's right here in black and white.
No, you don't have to have a career. Your career can be the fact that you're a bum.
So, okay, so I want to wrap this up by saying this. Here's my thoughts about this guy. Okay. First of all, I cannot imagine anywhere on this planet a lawyer taking this case.
I know, right?
It's not going to work. However, the sad thing is I can imagine somewhere on this planet there's a lawyer who will take this case.
Yeah, right. And a judge that'll hear it.
When Sharon said no, this is fake, I wished it was. And I wished it wasn't.
Right.
Wishy, wishy, washy, washy.
Happy birthday.
Okay. So this one is this one really hurts because let me tell you about it. So apparently a professor, Daniel Pollock Pelsner, an English and gender studies professor at Oregon's Linfield College of Gender Studies. Anyway, he's now suggested that the famous scene from Mary Poppins, where they become covered in soot, Mary attempts to wipe it off only to discover that she has made it worse, and so now owns that soot and adds more to her nose and her cheeks. So he says because of that scene, he says the 1964 film should be branded as racist because of the display of blackface.
It's soot.
Yeah, it's soot. I mean, you know, you had some on your arm earlier because you were cleaning out the fireplace. And I was about to tell you that you were being racist.
Wow.
See how simple that is?
I was cleaning out my stove.
But see how simple that just rolled off my tongue? And that's what's going on here. This is in the wake of all these blackface pictures that politicians or famous people apparently years and decades ago did something, a play in school, wore blackface, or, you know, and now 40 years later, they're racist and they should not be in government or they should not be acting or whatever it is. That's how easy it has apparently become to say that. And my whole what really pisses me off about this is what steers us backwards.
Exactly.
Every time something stupid like this happens.
I thought we were past all this.
Right. That's my point. You think you're past that. And every time something like this happens and the people that are claiming it say, you're taking us backwards. No, you're taking us backwards.
Exactly.
You know?
That's ridiculous. Come on now.
Part of film history, and this is part of the problem because people don't want to pay attention to history anymore. Part of film history, back in the day, if you went back, you would find many, many films with many, many actors, and therefore, decades ago, many, many plays in many, many schools where this blackface was used. It's part of history. It doesn't mean that they were racist.
Right.
And it doesn't mean now that this book is racist. Just like Tom Sawyer is suddenly racist because they called the Native American in there an Injun. So now that's got to be labeled racist.
God.
So they're the ones that are destroying it. Yeah, they're the ones destroying it. You know, I will never think that this is racist, and I think this professor should get hammered across social media.
Yeah.
But he's got people that will listen to him. That's the problem. He has people that will listen to him. People who have nothing better to do and can't think for themselves. That's the other problem here.
Yeah.
People will follow him that do not think for themselves. So he goes on to claim, it gets better. He goes on to claim that Travers. Now wait a minute, I missed something. Who's Travers? Oh, okay, the writer of the book. He goes on to claim that Travers used the chimney sweeps, as a stand-in for black people in her books.
No.
Yeah.
They were doing chimneys.
Apparently, in the 1943 book, Mary Poppins opens a book. Apparently, a housemaid shouts at a chimney sweeper, "Don't touch me, you black heathen." So,
because they're
right. So
sooted up.
From that line, he's making a summation that Travers is using chimney sweeps to what? Anyway, good news is fans of the film have taken to social media to denounce the claims and suggest that perhaps the only insulting thing about Mary Poppins is Emily Blunt's attempts. Apparently, Emily Blunt didn't play it good because they did a remake.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
And so this really pisses me off. This is the kind of stuff that this is one of the reasons that there's problems in society. Is because of idiots like this professor.
One of the big reasons that there's problems. You know, it's ridiculous.
I know.
Come on.
And it pisses us off.
It pisses me off.
We should have a segment, and you saying it just like that.
It pisses me off.
Every week. We only have an hour, but we should find a 5-minute segment of something that pisses Sharon off.
Pisses me off.
Hey, I might come back to this and cut out some sound bites so you just keep on going.
Pissing me off.
I gotta remember where this segment's
1450. Pissing me off.
All right. All right. So everybody, get on Facebook, get on your social media, and seriously, tell Daniel Pollock Pelsner to take a flying leap.
Yeah, right.
Off a chimney.
After you swept it
Now,
with your face.
Did I say anything wrong doing that? I want to make sure I didn't
No,
offend him.
no,
Or offend
no.
gender study professors everywhere.
No, right?
Speaking of which,
Right.
I was given an article to read, which I did, which I found pretty... I'm not going to lie, I find it interesting that the Native Americans, prior to the Europeans coming here, actually recognized 5 or 6 genders.
What?
Yes, they recognized several psychological genders.
Really?
Like a man feeling like a woman feeling like a man.
Really?
I found that to be amazing. And at the same time, I don't know. Still stick to my guns where, I talk where
Are
we
you
talked about
still
before.
feeling like a man, though?
I feel like a man, yes.
Okay.
Jeez. Anyway, that's what I get for trying
I'm
to...
checking.
Coming up after the break, ladies and gentlemen, we have, as usual, the home stretch of the show, the final stretch. I forget what I call it. It's the stretch.
Yeah.
I can't...
It's a stretch.
So we have a new Wombat of the week. We have a new hero to honor, and that's coming up afterwards. And, of course... look for us to be putting out a question of the week on Twitter at WQYB Radio. Also, you can catch us at Facebook at JM Talk, and of course on the home pad, in this area of the United States, the home John.
Home John.
It's JoelMichalec.com.
All right.
So, and I guess you're leaving with Molly.
I am.
Yeah, you're gonna miss
as I usually do.
You're gonna miss a good Wombat, but that's okay. I know you have things to do. Listen, we appreciate you coming by.
Well, I feel that I have a permanent seat here, so
You have a permanent seat.
I'm not just stopping by.
Well, we appreciate it, and everybody say
Of
goodbye to
course.
the lovely Sharon.
Thank you.
We'll see her next time on the podcast.
Yeah.
And when I come back, ladies and gentlemen, honor thy heroes and Wombat of the week. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
Look, Bullwinkle, we got a message.
The mail from Thumb Founder.
This is really what I call a message.
What the they, Rocky? What the they?
It says they're listening to 920 WON, the Apple.
Brooklyn, New York.
And now, here's something we hope you'll really like.
Ta-da!
Are you ready for some more Joel Michalec Show?
I'd better not. I have what doctors call a little bit of a weight problem.
I have the irrefutable proof that the Earth is not flat. Here it is. If the Earth was flat, don't you think cats would be on the edge of it, knocking off? A new episode every Sunday at JoelMichalec.com.
So I use my computer every day. I'm not even sure how I get along without it. But I wasn't prepared for a virus. A Trojan, they called it. One night I'm cruising along, and the next night I can't do anything. I was afraid it was going to cost me a fortune. Boy, was I surprised. They had me back up and running the same day I called them. I really like PC Tech Rescue, and you know what? My wallet likes them too.
Are you troubled by computer problems? PC Tech Rescue should be your very next call. Whether the problem is viruses, hardware, software, or any other issue, they can diagnose your problem and have you back up and running fast. With more than 25 years of industry experience, you can be sure you are getting dependable and affordable service. Call today, 484-429-6061, or email us at pctechrescue@gmail.com.
Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Joel Michalec Show at JoelMichalec.com. I'm Joel Michalec. You can also reach us at Facebook at JM Talk, or stop by Twitter at WQYB Radio and check us out. While you're on the website, you can click the subscribe button and you can subscribe on your favorite player. All right. And if you don't see your favorite player on the list, let me know, okay, and I'll get it done. So glad to have you back on the show. A couple things. This is called the final stretch. I forget what I call it. I do. So it's, you know what? It might be different every week. It's something stretch. It's the stretch. It's the last stretch, the final stretch, the home stretch of the show. Whatever you want to look at. It's the last segment. And in this segment, we usually include Honor Thy Heroes and Wombat of the Week. And before I get to them, I have a real quick story that I wanted to cover, and this was a great time to do it in this home stretch. It's a feel-good story out of Kansas City. Kansas City refuses to let veterans stay homeless and builds them their own town for free. After 2 years of planning, a group of homeless veterans in Kansas City, Missouri will finally have a place to call home. The Veterans Community Project built 13 tiny homes consisting of 4 family units and 9 single units, all fully functional. Not only will these veterans have a place to call home, they will also have access to classes on how to manage finances, cook, stay healthy, and overcome substance abuse. So, going on here, members of the Veterans Community Project believe that without these homes, many veterans would end up in jail or still be homeless. They plan to continue on the progress made here by adding 19 more homes during Phase 2 of the project. There are also plans to build a community center for the residents. And what I wanted to say real quick about this is I applaud the members of the Veterans Community Project. I do. I applaud them. I think it's an amazing thing that they're doing, and I hope it can be modeled and used elsewhere to do the same thing. I have been very outspoken, both on my programs and in my blog, about homelessness, especially as it pertains to veterans. You know, we're the only country in the world that does not take good care of our veterans. We allow these types of things to happen to them. And so I absolutely applaud this project. I want this project to see the light of day in other communities across the United States. I really do. And so I'm giving them mention because this is very special what they did. This is, and they're not stopping, folks. There's a phase 2 of this project, and there may be a phase 3 after that. You know, this is kind of stuff that we need to be talking about, right? We need to be talking about stuff like this. Things that are affecting people right here. And so I want to give a really big shout out here on the program to the members of the Veterans Community Project for building this small, fully functional town of tiny houses for the homeless veterans in Kansas City. Thank you very much. I salute you. And I wish you continued success. And I wish other communities pick up on the template for this project. So thank you very, very much. So now, at this juncture of the show, we will fall into the Wombat of the Week. Now, you can join in on the fun by submitting your Wombat of the Week story to my show. Simply email the link to a news story of stupid people doing stupid things to wombat@joelmichalec.com or joelmichalecradio@gmail.com. You can also submit your stories in a message on our Facebook page, which is, as I said, at JM Talk. So get me those stories, and I will vote on the good ones. Now, as I said earlier in the program, this wombat from India almost made the cut, but was shown up by another story that I want to talk about because it goes in conjunction with some things that we've talked about, you and I, over the past year on this program. Challenges, those really stupid challenges. And so in this segment of Wombat of the Week, Boiling Water Challenge sends 8 people to the hospital during the polar vortex around Chicago. So what happened was Loyola University Medical Center treated 8 people for significant burns, according to a hospital spokesman. Victims range in age from 3 to 53, and some were bystanders trying to watch a friend or family member doing the Boiling Water Challenge. The challenge tasks people with throwing extremely hot water into the air outside during freezing temperatures just to see if it turns into a cloud of steam. Doctors at Loyola Medical's Burn Center say that bad aim and bad throws sent that scalding hot water onto people instead of into the air. According to Dr. Arthur Sanford, he says, we've seen 8 patients and we're really surprised at how many people were trying the challenge and unfortunately failing. People can experience first, second, or even third degree burns when they accidentally spill boiling water on their feet or spray it on their body or face. I mean, I condemn these challenges. This is ridiculous. We're throwing boiling water up in the air. We're eating Tide Pods. We're getting out of our moving cars and dancing next to them. I mean, people with... No wonder aliens don't come here to visit us. They keep on going, man. They roll their windows up and lock their doors as they pass Earth. And this is why. Because we have a bunch of wombats that are doing this crap. I mean, come on. What's going to be next on the challenge list? What's going to be next? Have we not learned? Do we not learn? You know? Any of these challenges, the ice water challenge, the boiling water challenge, and I'm a little surprised that the doctor who spoke to the paper did not just flat out condemn this stuff. He's saying, well, when people do this, they can burn themselves if they don't do it right. If they don't do it right, how about if they don't do it all, they will not burn themselves? How about that, Doc? Let's go with that. And this, I don't know. I don't know what people are thinking, man. I'll tell you what you'll get out of it for sure. You'll wind up on this program as a Wombat of the Week. And that's why these people doing the Boiling Water Challenge are on the program and win the Wombat of the Week honors. I hope you're proud. The unfortunate thing is that some of them probably are going to be proud. That's the unfortunate thing. So, there you go. There's your Wombat of the Week. Get those stories in. So, moving on from that, my goodness, put those papers away. Right to the fireplace. Next up is a segment. If you're a first-time listener to the show, we have a segment called the Honor Thy Heroes segment. And it's published on social media, and it's very popular on social media. So, there are probably quite a few people who don't even listen to the podcast, sadly, who see this on our Twitter or Facebook or LinkedIn. So we poll stories from all aspects of first responders and whatnot, and we look for those amazing heroes out there. And my point of that is to kind of counterbalance all the negativity with these stories, these feel-good stories that people need to hear, that these people are out there, even though it's this year, to me, it seems in the news it's becoming an almost daily epidemic that law enforcement are being shot and killed, shot and wounded. Okay, I'll praise the heroes. I mean, I'm up to here. Up to here. I know you can't see this, but I'm up to here. Way up here. With these stories of law enforcement being gunned down for doing their job. But anyway, moving on to the Honor Thy Heroes. This week, we're honoring 2 officers from Ohio, Middletown Police Department in Ohio, who, on their first shift working together, saves a couple from their burning home. Okay, so Middletown Police Officer Shioki Reese, a 10-year veteran and also certified field training officer, riding with rookie officer Austin Mooney last week on a Sunday night. And they heard over the police radio about a fire on Harlan Street with 2 people possibly trapped. So they were only a few blocks away. They responded to the scene, heavy smoke coming out of the door. 42-year-old Reese says, you don't even think. You just run in and then you realize this is real. Reese said She nearly tripped over a 69-year-old woman who was lying on the living room floor. She appeared to be crawling away from a couch that was on fire. The woman, wearing a robe, was on fire, and Reese patted out the flames and dragged the woman out of the front door and onto the porch. Mooney, 26 years old, in his 4th month as an officer, went inside the residence and convinced the woman's husband, who was looking for his cell phone and keys, that he needed to leave the house immediately. Mooney then helped carry the woman safely down to the street, where a neighbor provided blankets and a pillow. The officers wanted to get the couple down the street because there were oxygen tanks inside the residence. And so within seconds after doing this, after getting them out of the house and getting them down the street, flames engulfed the house, windows were shattering, and the fire just grew exponentially. So this is the kind of things you don't hear about every day. Police officers running into a burning building to save lives. And while they're doing this, they're having other troubles. They're having other troubles across the country with criminals, with people who have lost touch with respect. I'll get back to that in a second, possibly. I want to finish telling you about these 2 fine police officers from Ohio. So the woman was transported to HU Medical Center with moderate injuries, according to the Middletown Fire Report. Her husband, who wasn't injured, was driven to the hospital by police, and he checked out fine. So according to Police Chief Rodney Mutterspall, he said you cannot ask for better people. And I believe him. He's got some great officers in that department. And so this week on Honor Thy Heroes, the Joel Michalec Show honors these 2 officers from the Middletown Police Department. Again, their names are Shioki Reese and Austin Mooney. And we appreciate your service to the community. And before we completely get out of here today, I'm just wondering what happened to society. It is weekly, definitely weekly, that I am catching stories of police officers being gunned down, serving warrants, helping people at an accident, a traffic stop. And I sit here and I wonder to myself, how dare these people harm these law enforcement officers? How dare you? What happened to respect in this nation? When I was young, I was taught by my parents, if you ever encounter a police officer for whatever reason, it's yes sir, no sir. You cooperate. You do what he says. You respect the law. I also respect my elders. I don't know what's going on around here anymore. People have no respect. To think that you can take someone's life for doing their job. Maybe if you weren't breaking the law, you wouldn't have to deal with these people. You know, if they're delivering a warrant, stopping you for speeding, helping at an accident. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about an officer helping at an accident. Somebody just starts shooting him and then beating on him, trying to kill him. What is wrong with society? What has happened to people? How dare you try to put your hands on another person in harm? In harm. It's happening too frequently. Now, I do not ever intend to go political on this program, but I would like to say that I would like for both parties, or all parties, because I know there are some independent candidates that are serving in Congress, to stop bitching and moaning about things that are not a today priority. A today priority is dealing with crime. A today priority is dealing with laws to ensure people don't repeat offend. and take a stance and get behind the men and women in blue instead of chastising them and creating this war on law enforcement. I'm sorry, you're just concentrating on things that matter to who? You and your bank account and your pocket? Doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is what choices you're making, what agendas you're creating, what agendas you're following that makes society a much worse place to live. The role of Congress is to make and enact laws that are for the good of the American people, not to fit your own agenda. And I don't take joy in coming on here every week on this podcast and talking about police officers continuing to be attacked. And I think the law community needs to get a little more, I almost said creative. I think we need to help criminals understand in a better way that when they commit a crime, it will not be tolerated. All the way down to drunk driving. In this state I'm in, Delaware, I'm reading stories almost every 2-3 weeks about people that have been arrested for their 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th DUI. Excuse me? We need to make people understand that once is too much, but that once is enough. And if we find a way to do that, we'll be able to make society a better place, I think. So, anyway, so that pretty much wraps up the program for this week. Didn't mean to go on a sad note there, but I hope you agree. I don't want to have to read news of police officers being shot every week. It's disturbing. So, with that, I want to remind everybody, okay, new episodes every Sunday at joelmichalec.com. Click the subscribe to the podcast button to subscribe with your favorite service. Also, stop by and say hi at JM Talk on Facebook and WQYB Radio over there at Twitter. Until the next time we come into your computer speakers or headphones, we want to say thank you for listening and have a great week, everybody. We'll catch you later.